Hello YouTube and fellow DC Comic fans! I'm Kelly One Shot, and this is the Post-Crisis Podcast. And today, we're going to talk about The Flash number 82 from DC Comics, written by Joshua Williamson. Okay, so in this issue, we're actually going to jump forward a little bit from where we left off in the last issue, where we saw the sky turn to black, we saw the Sigil of Doom rise into the sky, the Black Flash was attacked by this white energy after Hunter Zolomon sacrificed himself to restore the force barrier, and we saw that all of our speedsters who are in the area, which is Barry, Avery, and Wallace, were attacked by this strange energy, and Steadfast told Iris that the Speed Force is seemingly broken. So now we actually jump forward a little bit, like I said, where we see that Central City is covered in snow. The Rogues have taken over, and Captain Cold is leading this army who is fighting back and taking control totally of Central City. There is a small resistance team of several cops. We see Detective Burns and Morrow doing their best to fight back against the Rogues' army here. And we actually see that Captain Cold's army is going to Star Labs. There's several break-ins that have been happening against the Rogues, and they actually go there and they see a Flash symbol on the ground. And they say, whoa, I haven't seen one of those in a long time. We have to call the robbery in to High Guard and let them know. Should we tell them about the logo? They said no, because no one's actually seen him, quote unquote, until the sky, or since the sky went black. So why bother even telling them? Because they figure that the Flash is dead, like I said, as we just jump forward a little bit. We actually then go to Ice Heights, which is Iron Heights. It's been redone up and it's all fancy, and it's like pretty much it's Captain Cold's kingdom. He's now King Cold, and he is ruling Central City thanks to the help of Lex Luthor. He's being told about the break-ins. We see all the different Rogues are there except for Golden Glider, and they don't really seem to see eye to eye with Lex. They're not, or we're not with Lex, with Captain Cold here, because of Lex. They don't like Lex's plan and how he's going about it. They thank him for the technology, but they're wondering what the Rogues are going to do about Lex. So they're not fully with Leonard Snart right now. They're not fully on his side, and it seems like they're not happy with exactly what's going on here. We actually then see one of Captain Cold's assistants goes up and talks to him. She says that she has an urgent message to tell Captain Cold, and they kind of go and they talk about how there's been several intense energy spikes in the city that's unrelated to the changes in the sky. It's the same type of energy that Mirror Master's technology uses, and then he assures her that there's only one place that type of energy could happen, and it was right where they are. That thanks to Lex Luthor's hard light technology, they were able to harness the power of Mirror Master's mirror dimension, and they were kind of using it as like a power of creation that like they could pretty much use to create several things. They don't really explain how exactly, but essentially it's everything they needed to steal Central City and divide up the winnings amongst the Rogues, and they say how the Rogues won. Captain Cold's High Guard or whatever was telling him that another place is being robbed, so he wants to take it upon himself to see what's going on in the break-in. So he goes there with his several units here, and they fight back against a resistance force, and then Captain Cold is actually getting so mad, and he says that he used to live by this code to never kill anyone unless it was do or die, but things change, and then he goes to kill this guard, and then he is actually challenged now by Commander Cold. And Commander Cold is here with Avery Ho and Wallace West, and they are clearly the ones here to do the robbery here. And it's actually here where the two Captain Cold and Commander Cold fight off, and they go against each other, and they kind of have this back and forth, how Commander Cold is telling the captain that he's from the future. He knows all about Leonard Snart in his life and all the things that he did within his story here, and they're actually fighting each other here, and Commander Cold is able to get a few good punches in on Captain Cold, but eventually Captain Cold tells him that no matter what, you're still using my technology. This is the tech that I built. This is my Absolute Zero technology. I didn't just build it, I mastered it. And then he actually is able to freeze Commander Cold in a solid block of ice, and he's either dead here, or he's going to thaw him and lock him up into his prison later on. We see Wallace and Avery doing their best to run away, and they say that they have to get back to help Commander Cold, but it's probably too late. And that's actually what Iris says, as it seems that the two young speedsters are here to meet up Iris. It doesn't actually seem like they have their powers here, which I want to note, because it seems like the Speed Force is broken and it's not working right now. We see that Wallace has a piece of the mirror that he clearly stole from that base, which Captain Cold was at. We then actually hear Captain Cold, he's talking to somebody. He's mentioning that your old partners are doing their best to try to find a way to turn the world back to the way it was, because they're hoping that we're in some kind of mirror world. But that's the best part. Thanks to the power that he now has the control. Whatever he wants to be real is real. Then Captain Cold actually says, it's a shame that his so-called friends, the Rogues, don't see things his way, that he gave them everything and anything they ever wanted. And what does he get in return? Them second-guessing him, them challenging him, attempting mutiny. He says that he questions every day if it's all worth it. If he tries to fix things, he could lose control of Central City, and he'd just be Leonard Snart, a loser again, a nobody. And he says that heavy is the head that wears the crown. We also see him walking through the prison here, and he has the Strength Force user in a cell. He has Steadfast in a cell. He has Trickster in a cell. All people who could potentially challenge him here in his crown. He also then opens up another cell, and he says that today he felt like himself again. He had got that old rush back, that chill in his bones. He guesses that he misses a challenge of a good fight. And he says that it's funny that everybody thinks the Flash is dead. Because the Flash isn't dead. The Flash is in this cell. And Leonard Snart kept him alive, so the Flash would know every day that Leonard Snart won, and that he's now the king of Central City. And there's not a damn thing the Flash can do about it. And if the Flash tries to do anything about it, he'll do the same to the Flash that he did to Commander Cold just now. And then Leonard actually tosses the severed, frozen head of Commander Cold into the cell with Barry Allen, and he says, you think about that as you watch him thaw. And then we see Barry in his suit, tattered, ripped apart, chained to the wall. Clearly doesn't have the Speed Force anymore because something's wrong with the Speed Force. And Barry shouts out, no! And that's actually the end of the issue here. And we actually see in the next caption, it says, what the hell happened to Central City? I'm hoping that implies that we're going to jump back an issue here and see how we actually got here. I don't like this storytelling approach where we kind of like skipped ahead and we missed that middle part. It makes me feel like things are rushed a little bit. Is maybe Williamson's run coming to an end, like several other runs, like Tom King's run is ending. Many other DC Rebirth runs have already ended. We're seeing the Scott Snyder Justice League run come to an end after issue 39. And we're also getting all these reports about DC 5G, this attempt to jump into the future, into the next generation, and give all of our mantles to new people, some of which aren't the typical people you would think would inherit these mantles. Some of them are ones that straight up make no sense and sound awful, and you're going to harm those characters by doing that. Don't do that, DC Comics. We don't want 5G. 5G sounds worse than how New 52 was initially handled, and I think that if you come out with DC 5G, you're gonna lose a lot of readers and a lot of loyal comic book purchasers, such as myself. Please don't do that. But either way, going back to this Flash issue, I overall like the story. Like I said, I feel like I want to know what happened, how we got here. I hope they cover that in the next issue, and I want to see what's happening with the Speed Force. I want to know what's going on and how Captain Cold became king of Central City. Obviously, we have all the stuff happening with Perpetua and Justice League, and how the world is changing, and she's altering the multiverse, and the sigil of doom is arisen in the sky. I want to see how that all plays out. There's a lot of books connected to the Year of the Villain storyline. I haven't had a chance to read all of them, because honestly, right now, DC Comics is pushing out a lot of books, a lot of titles, and it's hard to keep track of all of them right now, especially when I have two jobs myself, and I do this as a side hobby that I am very passionate about. Either way, like I said, I like this issue. I enjoy Williamson's run. I can't wait to see how we revisit Eobard Thawne and see how he's been manipulating characters like Zoom. And I really want to see how this is all going to unfold going forward from here. What's actually happening with Godspeed? Who is he working for? Is that maybe Thawne? Let's find out in the future. Can't wait to see what's going on there in the Flash title. Either way, as always, I'm your host, Kelly One Shot. You can check this video out here on youtube.com/OneShotTheory. You can also go to comicbooklegion.com, where I am a contributor of the website. You can read written reviews, listen to podcasts, other videos, and different insight and opinions from the many contributors of comicbooklegion.com. Check it out. As always, I'm your host, Kelly One Shot. Take care, have a great day, and goodbye!